Good afternoon. Afternoon all. Good afternoon. Am I coming through okay? Hope you're all well. Tian, how you doing, pal? Firstly, congrats. Well, congrats when you go full time. It's I mean for me personally, right? I'm not talking specifically about this month because this month has been brutal for me. Like it's kind of been a bit humbling. I did put a blog out. I don't know if you've read it, but probably not. But I might put a link into it. Months like this are difficult, but taking, obviously I've been a trader for a long time, taking it all on a whole, right? I am, like, generally saying this, I am so much happier being a trader than I ever was. No matter how the money was great. Like, I used to work oil and gas. I was an operations manager for the Middle East for an oil and gas company. A great job, getting paid, 100 grand a year, and absolutely hated it. Hated waking up in the morning. And now even going through this, these months, this month has probably taken me back 2 months to where I was, in terms of equity wise 2 months ago. But still enough to make money. It's fine. But the enjoyment, the freedom, it just doesn't compare to anything else. And like I was saying, the best decision I ever made was becoming a trader, I feel, in my life. And I think moving forward and as you go along, you probably know the realities of it is, it's not a get rich quick scheme. Over the period of 5-10 years, then you'll start making a lot more money. I'll make a decent living from trading now. But the enjoyment wise, the freedom wise, there's nothing really comes close to it, to be honest, unless you love your job. But for me, doing this every day, being able to do what I love is great. So I wish you the best of luck, Tian, and I hope everything goes well for you. I really do. My 200 is with FTMO. So I'm doing the 200. It hasn't started off well, obviously. Now I lost 2 again. But the one good thing is I'm glad June has finished. So I've got no positions on right now, and I'll probably take the weekend and just refresh and come back in on a Monday and say, right, let's go. I'm getting my money back now. So yeah, FTMO is where I have it. But as I said, when you kind of refresh and you go from that kind of drawdown period, you just start again, and it doesn't take long to get it back. So we'll see. But yeah, I wish you the best of luck, mate. And I hope everything goes well. What I would say, Tian, one of the biggest things I would say is probably have a little nest egg. If you've got a couple of months of savings there, that just in case something goes wrong, you've got that little bit of nest egg to keep you okay for a little bit of time. And but no, yeah, wish you all the best, mate. I wish you all the best. Okay, so today, non-farm payrolls, one of the biggest events of the month, as we know. It's kind of not as big as it used to be when I first started trading, but I do think the last couple of months have been important, and I do think today will be important. If you don't know, if you're new, non-farm payrolls is obviously the amount of jobs added to the US economy in the previous month. We also have unemployment data coming out as well. Now, last month we had those inflation fears kind of kicking into the market, and I'll bring this up 1 second. And when I talked about last month, I kind of wanted a slight miss, bit of a better number in employment. We kind of got that. So those inflation fears have kind of gone a little bit away. Now, why I think this is an important number is because of where the stock market is. And I feel reading what I've read today, let's go into the SPX. For what I've read today, a lot of people are expecting positivity. We've had some decent PMIs out. We've had some decent data out from the US economy recently, and investors, analysts are expecting positivity out of these numbers, positivity in the stock market. And I think that's been reflected in the past 2-3 days. If you look at where the stock market is, and I was saying this 2 days ago, possibly on the Wednesday live stream, actually, this bar was a big inclination for me. This decent bullish bar from what looked like possibly losing momentum has kind of put us, in a decent position moving forward. Now, the trend in the 4 hour is great, right? The trend has kind of changed from possibly not great to a good bullish trend, right? There's no doubt about that. Slight 4-hour hammer here, however, that's probably just waiting for those numbers to come out. I personally think if I bring the numbers up here, we're expecting $700,000 to be added, and we are expecting unemployment rate to be 5.7. That's what the analysts predict. After 5.59, which was a slight miss last month, and 5.8%. So if we can get numbers, right, if we can get employment roughly around this rate, 5.7, 5.6 would be great. And for me personally, I think a number matching expectations, a number slightly beating expectations, maybe 800,000 or maybe up to 900,000, the stock market will like. So, I mean, obviously, the stock market likes more jobs with, those inflation fears kind of coming away. So we'll have to wait and see the numbers in 9 minutes. But that's what I personally feel. I am expecting positivity. What that means for the dollar as well. So the dollar has been on a rapid rise, right? And I can't lie to you, and I can't say that I personally like this chart, because I don't. I don't from a technical standpoint. I don't, right? I think this is the thing, right? So pre-COVID, as I've talked about a few times before, pre-COVID risk. Stocks push, the US dollar pushed. Post-COVID, if the stocks push, the US dollar has fallen off and acted more as a safe haven asset because of that flight to cash, right? What the people want to sell their stocks, what they have to do to sell their stocks, they got to buy US dollars. Now, whether this is changing or not, whether the circumstances for this are changing or not, we have to wait and see. Because we're kind of getting a bit of similarities to what we saw pre-COVID, where stocks push, US dollar pushes. Now, we have had an extensive push in the dollar. I am expecting positivity for the dollar. I am thinking, remember, we don't know, this is a red or black scenario. We don't know what number is going to come out, right? And anybody tells you to do there, you're basically full of it. So we don't know what numbers are going to come out. But structurally, with the US dollar, again, from a technical standpoint, and I do think you kind of get a clue before the numbers come out sometimes. I think the markets sometimes give you a slight clue. But structurally, we've broken these highs. We've broken this resistance. Oh, my pen's not working again. 1 second. We've broken these highs. We've broken this resistance. And it kind of looks like a little bit of clear air here to roughly around this 93.15 to 93.5 level in the dollar. I do think that's what we get to. I think the dollar train is motoring. And at the moment, you shouldn't really, go against it. And I'm not going to go against this personal trend. I can't say I still like it because I don't like the dollar. I don't like this personal chart. I've found over the years trading that charts like this can sometimes, and not always, because remember, there's no absolutes. Daniel, how you doing, pal? Hope you're well. Daniel, there's no absolutes in trading, but for me the dollar is just slightly extended. But I do think a good number, now again, it depends what happens here. A good number, right, initially could be bullish for the USD, and then in a little bit, maybe a couple of hours digestion, we could see that Euro USD come back up if the US dollar wants to act as that safe haven asset. Let's see what happens. I think it's important. I think this change in trend for the US dollar is quite surprising and quite kind of open to theories, but whether it happens or not, we just have to wait and see. A miss would be good for tech. Yeah, I agree. I personally agree. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. The SPX, I just can't see a miss. I honestly, it's hard for me to say that just with the data kind of leading up to it. It's hard to predict a miss. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but certainly a big miss I can't see. Possibly expectations. I certainly see it better than last month with the data coming out, and we'll have to wait and see. Loving the show, man. Following today's. Thanks you, Daniel. Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate that. Rohan, how you doing, pal? Hope you are okay. So the number's coming out in 5 minutes. So what's everybody's opinion? Go on, there's a couple people in here watching. What's everybody's opinion on what's going to happen today? What do people think is going to happen to the stock market? What do people think is going to happen to the US dollar? Remember, this is just my personal opinion. I'm a trader. I'm not an analyst. This is what I think. But let me know what you guys think. What do you think is going to happen? Anybody got trades on? Does anybody have any particular trades on? Is anybody trading the NFP? I don't usually trade the NFP. I wait for the market's reaction to the numbers rather than the numbers itself. I think as a trader, that's probably the best way to do it. You know, certainly with these big news events, I don't mind sitting on the fence, to be honest with you. And we've seen it time and time again where numbers come out and, you know, it goes the exact opposite of what you think, which is why I think, you know, market's reaction to the news is more important than the news itself. Strength in the dollar. Yeah, I agree, Rohan. I do agree. I can just see the dollar strengthening up into this area. I really can see dollar strength for potentially the next couple of days, relatively up into this area. And I think the market then is going to have a decision on whether this dollar changes from, you know, quite a decent downtrend for quite some time to a potential trend to an uptrend. We'll have to see. NFP to miss slightly. Tesla's Q2 delivery numbers to beat expectations. When are those Q2 numbers coming in, Daniel? I know you're massively a Tesla fan. I know Daniel personally. He's a massive Tesla fan, obviously. But we'll see. I mean, 3 minutes. So 3 minutes to the numbers. Let me see if I can bring them up. What I'll do is I'll add, let me see if I can get this here so we can look at the chart as well when the numbers come in. There might be a very slight delay on my stream. So where are we looking? Here we are. This is the number we're looking out for. I'll put this on the stream here. I'll get the Euro USD up because that is obviously the most heavily traded currency pair in the Forex market. So we can see them come in. USD will rise, but only against the CAD and the Aussie. The Aussie's been weak. The CAD's gotten a little bit strength yesterday on account of decent data. I do have a breakout order in the CAD Swiss. I'll show you that actually. So the CAD, I do have that one breakout order here on the CAD Swiss daily chart on account of this cut with handle. Nice corrective, bullish engulfer here. Digesting that engulfer, a breakout there with my stop losses here. Kind of like that trade. Certainly if stocks push, expect the Swiss to come off. Maybe gold. I haven't checked gold actually. Let's have a look at gold. I mean, gold is another chart that I think is in a precarious position. I just don't like that. You know, I just, the whole month I haven't really liked most charts and there haven't been any movement, but I don't like that chart. You know, if I was to say anything with gold, it'd be a pullback. You know, and we did have it recently where gold and US dollar were strong at the same time, roughly, which obviously is not the norm. That's that inverse relationship. Don't expect major movement on euro, pound, or USD. Okay, so the numbers are just coming in. Let me get the euro USD out. Here we go. Can't be less than a minute now. Non-farm payrolls. Looking at this number here, and we're looking at this number here. Let's see. $20 seconds or so. Oh. Wow, big 850. So 850 850,000 jobs. Unemployment is slightly missed, 5.9%. So a beat on non-farm payrolls and a miss on unemployment. Euro USD falling. See what that's doing to the stock market. It's hard to. He didn't really want. I mean, that unemployment rate is not very good, obviously, right? So I think that again might cause a little bit of uncertainty here. They'll like obviously the non-farm payrolls. That's a good number. What do we reckon? What do we reckon? We've had a slight little dip there in USD. Fed will stay the line. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I certainly agree with that. I think this will be. I honestly, to be honest with you, I think this kind of this will kind of be a non-event. You know, I think possibly trends to continue. USD to strengthen. Yeah, I mean, it's just there's nothing happening, is there? It's not. It's a kind of non-event. I think if we had decent unemployment or at that expectations, it would have done something more. But for me, I don't think. Well, the stock market likes those NFP numbers. Let's see what it's doing to gold. October NFP going to be crazy. Post-corona. World Health Organization court case about the approval of RNA-based vaccines. Yeah, maybe. Well, the good thing is, I mean, from a technical perspective, I want markets to rise, right? From a technical perspective, I want markets to rise. You know, the trend was there. It'll be interesting to see what this does for the currencies. So, for example, if we go over to the Aussie yen, you know, your traditional risk on, risk off, and see what it's doing there. So you're going to get a bid in that Aussie. Yen's coming off, so that means the markets kind of like it. And like I said, the reaction to the news is the most important thing for me, not the news itself. So we can go into theories about all this number saying, well, okay, this and this and this. There's a lot more smarter people in the market than me that can analyze that news. For me, all right, I'll wait half an hour, let the markets digest it. I would prefer upward movement. I always prefer fluidity. You know, I don't want us to head back down and get into that shitty conditions anymore. So I'm just waiting for that market's reaction to the news, and to be honest, it seems to like it. Lots of resistance there. Resistance? It's at all-time highs, Tian. You know, possibly. I mean, from a technical perspective, we'll have to wait for the closure. Oh, resistance to sellers. Do you mean resistance to dip buyers? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I think. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I think we wait until this closes again. But we did see this last month, right? We saw this last month with the numbers come in. We had an initial rise and then we had a fall back down, right? So waiting for that reaction, waiting to see what happens is the best case scenario. But to be honest, I'm kind of indifferent. I think you see some strength in the Aussie. You know, possibly we see some strength in the Aussie coming in. The Aussie has been relatively weak. What happens to the dollar? Maybe dollar's coming off. So yeah, I think the best thing to do is wait an hour, let it settle, and then we come back and play that. Possibly even wait till Monday and play that. But I did say I didn't really like that chart. So let's see what happens in the dollar. All right, guys, I think we just let this settle now. Thanks to everybody watching. I think I had 10 people at one point in time, which is the most I've ever had, which is great for me. I appreciate you all coming to watch. As I said, I don't trade NFP. I'm just kind of here to look at the numbers, sit back and have a G&T would be nice. But again, my opinion, just let it settle. You know, wait till those closures, possibly wait till 35 minutes for those candles to close and then play that direction. Play that direction, in my opinion. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. And I'll see you all on Monday. Have a good weekend. You got some rugged tonight. Yeah, I'm going for a beer tonight, that's for sure. Try to get those losses out of my mind. But I'll see you all on Monday. And trade safe, yeah? Peace.